Have you ever wondered why a white sprinter breaking 10 seconds in the 100 meters is treated like a national headline? Why is it that in almost every Olympic final or World Championship final, you will not find a single white athlete standing on that start line? For over a decade, this record barely moved. But in 2026, everything changed twice. First, an American sprinter shocked the track world with a time of 9.89 seconds. Then, just weeks later, in the pouring rain of Glasgow, a 22-year-old Australian ran even faster and rewrote the history books all over again. Stick around, because this story has two incredible chapters, and the second one is absolutely wild. Before we get into the race that broke the internet, let's understand exactly why this moment matters so much. In modern sprinting, the 100 meters is dominated almost entirely by athletes from the United States, Jamaica, and several nations across Africa. It is incredibly rare, almost a once-in-a-decade event, for a white athlete to even crack 10 seconds, let alone challenge for medals on the world stage. For 15 long years, the name at the top of this unofficial list belonged to France's Christophe Lemaitre, who ran 9.92 seconds back in 2011. That time was so respected that it was considered untouchable. Since then, a handful of sprinters have flirted with sub-10 performances Italy's Filippo Tortu, America's Matthew Bowling, and Cole Beck, and Australia's own Lachlan Kennedy, who had already gone under 10 seconds multiple times in his career. But nobody had gotten close to Lemaitre's mark. Then, in 2026, everything shifted. At the Music City Track Carnival in Tennessee, American sprinter Sam Blascowski exploded to a time of 9.89 seconds. It was a massive moment. Blascowski became the first sprinter of European descent to break 9.90 seconds, and he backed it up with another sub-10 run at the LA Grand Prix on June 14th. At that point, most fans assumed this record would stand for years. Nobody expected it to fall again so soon. But track and field has a way of humbling our expectations. And what happened next, in the rain-soaked streets of Glasgow, Scotland, in the 2026 Commonwealth Games, is exactly why we're making this video. If you're new here, make sure you stay till the end, because we're going to break down every single detail of this race, the splits, the reactions, and what it means for the future of Australian sprinting. The 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow did not look like the setting for history. Conditions were wet, cool, and far from ideal for fast sprinting. Temperatures hovered in the low 60s, and rain kept falling throughout the men's 100 meters rounds. Nobody expected fireworks. But then came the semifinals. Lachlan Kennedy, the 22-year-old Australian sprinter, exploded out of the blocks and crossed the line in 9.94 seconds, a brand new personal best at the time. This was already his third sub-10-second performance of the season, following two runs of 9.96 seconds earlier in the year at the Australian Championships. Considering the wet track, this was a serious statement. And then came the final. From the gun, Kennedy got out fast. Through the opening 60 meters, he was locked in a tight battle with Nigeria's Kanyinsola Ajayi. The two reached the 60-meter mark in almost identical splits, 6.37 seconds for Ajayi and 6.38 seconds for Kennedy. For a moment, through 80 to 90 meters, it genuinely looked like Kennedy might become Commonwealth champion. His form was clean, his stride was powerful, and the crowd could sense something special happening. But in the final meters, Cameroon's Emmanuel Eseme found another gear entirely. He surged past the field to win gold in 9.83 seconds, a new Commonwealth Games record, breaking the mark of 9.88 seconds that had stood since 1998. Kennedy crossed the line just behind him in 9.85 seconds. Let that number sink in for a second. 9.85 seconds. That result did three massive things at once. First, it smashed Patrick Johnson's Australian national record of 9.93 seconds, a mark that had stood untouched for 23 years since 2003. Second, it made Kennedy the first Australian man to win a Commonwealth Games 100-meter medal since 1962. And third, the headline that sent the story viral, it made him the new fastest white sprinter in history, surpassing Sam Blascowski's 9.89 second mark by 0.04 seconds. let's go a little deeper into how this race actually unfolded, because the data here is fascinating. Kennedy's reaction time off the blocks was an excellent 0.134 seconds. He reached the 60-meter mark in 6.38 seconds, and then closed out his final 40 meters in just 3.47 seconds to cross the line in 9.85 seconds. Through most of the race, Kennedy and Ajayi were trading the lead back and forth in the 10-meter splits. But it was Eseme's closing speed that separated him from the field. He covered his final 40 meters in an incredible 3.39 seconds to steal the win right at the line. Bronze went to Kanyinsola Ajayi, and it's worth remembering just how strong his season already was. Ajayi had already won the NCAA title with a blistering 9.72 seconds, and claimed victory at the London Diamond League in 9.84 seconds, running into a strong headwind. Losing to two athletes running this fast tells you exactly how stacked this final really was. This performance also moved Kennedy into a tie for 5th place in the 2026 World Rankings, alongside Colombia's Ronald Longo. And here's a stat that puts Kennedy's rise into real perspective. He has now broken 10 seconds 5 separate times in his career. The only white sprinter in history to do that more often is Christophe Lemaitre, who broke 10 seconds 7 times between 2010 and 2011. Given that Kennedy is only 22 years old and still improving, many believe he could eventually surpass that number entirely. The reaction to this race was immediate and massive. Kennedy himself could barely believe what he had just done. Speaking to Channel 7 right after the race, he said the number felt crazy, and admitted he does not plan on slowing down anytime soon. He made it clear that his sights are now firmly set on the Los Angeles Olympics. Australian broadcaster Johanna Griggs was among the first to publicly highlight that Kennedy had become the fastest white sprinter in history, and American athletics analyst Aaron Brown echoed the same point shortly after. But beyond the individual headline, this moment was framed as something much bigger for Australian athletics as a whole. On the very same day, Tori Lewis broke her own national record to win bronze in the women's 100 meters. Combined with Kennedy's silver, commentators began calling this the start of a new golden era for Australians sprinting, a program that already includes rising star Gout Gout, who Kennedy has actually beaten twice over 200 meters. For a country that has historically dominated the pool at global games while quietly hoping for a miracle on the track, this was a rare and special moment of validation. So let's recap this incredible story. Earlier in 2026, Sam Blascowski shocked the sprinting world with a time of 9.89 seconds, becoming the fastest white sprinter in history. Nobody expected that record to fall so soon. But just weeks later, in the rain of Glasgow, Lachlan Kennedy ran 9.85 seconds to take Commonwealth silver, shatter a 23-year-old Australian record, and claim that same title for himself. So here's a question for you. Do you think Lachlan Kennedy can go even faster and challenge for an Olympic medal in Los Angeles? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest moments in track and field.